Hey friends, I watched a video yesterday and it presented me with a concept that I was really kind of moved by, or it provoked a certain kind of insight into culture and the way our world looks right now in a lot of ways. And basically, this is a conversation of which I only caught a portion, but which was initially started out talking about personality, what personality is. This is with a psychologist, and how we create it, how it changes, how it gets fixed, how it can what some personality disorders look like and how they work. But at the conclusion of the talk, one of the speakers made a point about social media and the internet, our current relationship to the internet in general. And what he said was, we've all talked about, we've all, I mean, I don't know about all, most of us have heard and read things about the way that social media is framing the conversation that we're having on a personal level, on a community level, on a national level, on a political level, on the social justice level. Social media is the vehicle for so much of the conversation. And although it appears to be the vehicle, it's also has a huge hand in shaping the content, right? This is not generally news to people who've been paying attention. But what this guy said was that culture fills the space that it inhabits in the same way that water fills the vessel into which you pour it. Culture doesn't just fill the space that it inhabits, it takes the shape of the space that it inhabits, just like water. It contorts itself. It's fluid. It becomes bent and shaped and takes on the shape, the structure of the space in which it's taking place, in which cultural communication is taking place. And that image really jumped out at me because, I've thought many times about social media, the effect it's having on our conversation, what that influence is doing to our thought, to our intellectual debate. And it's not hard to see the evidence. All you have to do is look at what the conversation's about. Look at what people are saying. Look at how people are listening or not listening. I think I'm about to get a visitor. But that notion that is somebody sneaking in my room? Hey, sweet pea. You look ready to go out on a boat. Come here.
Mama, I'm open
Oh, I see. Well, you can do that. You can do that even without a life jacket. If I'm nearby.
If you like seeing out the pool
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Hey, sweets. Do you want to come here?
But Bobby said I need to be where I can reach.
Yeah, that's true.
If I go in that pool alone.
I'm doing a video post. Doing a video post. Well, let me finish real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right out. Can you close the door when you go home? Now we're adjusting our life jacket to make sure that it...
That's just how it was.
You just needed a little adjustment, right? Yeah.
I need it tightened up.
Can you close that door, honey, when you go?
Yes.
Somehow that image really got me. It just really it was like it enhanced my understanding of what is happening, because I've been saying for a while that social media operates on a business model where our attention is the commodity being sold. That's how they make money. That's why popular platforms make more money than less popular platforms. And so there's a whole gargantuan science of how to capture our attention that they've gotten really good at. But when that's the goal, to capture our attention because it is a saleable asset, what kind of dialogue is going to be provoked? It's not hard to see why a culture that increasingly spends time and then increasingly gets news and that increasingly has its discussion of global and political and social realities on that platform would start to become twisted by the platform, because the platform is giving us, it's determining what we see, what we read, what we ingest. And I think in an era when we are so divided and the thing is, you can point to America and it's probably the worst in America, but it's not just in America, it's everywhere. You see this everywhere. It's happening in Europe, it's happening in Asia. And that really tells you, on one level, it's easy to say, for me as an American to feel like, oh, it's just our culture that's falling apart. But you look around and that effect is noticeable other places as well. America may be sort of the hotbed of it, and we might be leading the charge of the dysfunction. But but we have many comrades in arms in this giant dysfunctional melee. And I think that that's in a lot of ways, it's an affirmation of the fact that this is not simply it's not simply the natural cultural evolution of America. This is being imposed by the space that the culture is inhabiting. And these platforms are global, and global cultures across the globe manifest the same things, the same pathologies, as they increasingly inhabit this space. So, the answer proffered by these speakers yesterday was, well, hopefully a new technology will come along that will redress these ills. And that has historically taken place, by and large, when we've had these cultural kind of eye of the needle moments. And I have hope that will happen too. But in the meantime, I think it's also awfully valid to really look at how we use our attention. Really look, if we use social media, really look at what is happening. Really step back as our brains cruise through these platforms and are attracted to this, are repelled by that, are attracted to this. It's a constant, it is a constant vying for our attention that's taking place. If we can monitor that and actually get a little bit of insight into it's in a lot of ways, if it weren't having such pretty destructive effects on our culture, it'd be a really interesting experiment to run on ourselves to see how we operate, and to learn our own triggers, learn our own clues. So, yeah, I think, this is kind of an atypical post for me, but that is a form of consciousness practice, and we are seeing a manipulation of our consciousness take place through these platforms. So putting some awareness there and really getting some clarity on what is happening is in my book, that's a spiritual practice. It's at least it's certainly a mindfulness practice. Spiritual might be a stretch, but is a profound mindfulness practice that will have implications for our spiritual life as well. So that's what I got today, folks. That and a little girl in her life jacket. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.